What time is now? It's back to the Rons. It's like, wow, he's back to the Rons. I'm in the booth, straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent, David Plant, the Metropolis Times. All right, these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. All right. Man, I'll tell you what. I'm one guy who underestimates my time for everything. It is sad. Sad. But it is what it is. I swore I was going to be doing this show at 8, 9. It's just comedy. But the good news, School Us album sales. The good news is my man on my route picked one up. He ordered some CD from somewhere. It was an international signature item. Oh, so you collect CDs? Yeah. And he's not really a huge hip hop fan, but he collects CDs. So I asked him, yeah. And then he bought one and he's like, no. As he's buying, he's like, it's not a series, right? Like, no, I just have the one. Oh, okay, good. Because I didn't want to get hung up and having to buy a series of CDs. No. Anyway, so he was okay buying one. That's cool. He's an interesting guy, but hey, much appreciate that. First sale of the year for CDs. Number 2, so that's I Don't Like Sunsets Much, or a country song. So it looks like I'm going to be going to see Morgan Wallen. And July 25th is the plan. Lumen Field, I think it's called, Seahawks Stadium. So yeah, and opening act or opening ahead is Miranda Lambert. It's pretty amazing. She could probably have her own show, but not probably fill a place like that, I would think. But yeah, Morgan Wallen is the stuff right now, and he's gonna have 2 shows. The other one's with Brooks and Dunn, but I wouldn't be available for that night. I don't think so. Friday. So that's cool. I've never been actually to a country concert. So that's good. If I want to be writing country songs, I probably should be going to some country concerts. So that's good. I will do market research while I'm there. What does it look like to be at the pinnacle of that genre? You know, really doing it big. He is doing it big. Okay. And then Miranda Lambert's my favorite female country singer anyway. So I'm like, wow, this is great. I have her CD. My mom got it for me, but I can't find where I put it. So I do want to see if I can find it and actually listen to it. Now I got a CD player kind of lying around. Okay. So YouTube channel, social media. So another. All right, YouTube. Could not on my, there's an app, I guess, YouTube. Click on it, 0. If I type in youtube.com on a search, I can get to YouTube. I can still get to my channel. Now, for the shorts, it doesn't show as an option anymore. Is that temporary? Do I need a reset? It's just like, seriously. It's just, I'm numb for this stuff, you know? So I went on my regular channel to record it. I think I did that recently anyway. So who knows why, but just want stuff to work, man. So that was a failure. Last week's YouTube did, the short did better, but now I couldn't even find out with this one because it did work. Excuse me, I forgot to check TikTok, but yeah, last one did good. Actually had like a record amount, I think 50 likes or something. got like 1,778 views. I was at 1,776 for a minute. That was pretty cool. But yeah, good response. Maybe it's the topic, I suspect. But yeah, that's good. Instagram's, I can't even remember, was it? It wasn't anything. It was somewhere between, I'll say 40 and 110. I can't remember. Rules of engagement, I don't have anything to say. Bellevue Ballers, I kind of want to, I'm constantly working on this. This is just amazing and it's a challenge. Couple of things. One, I believe very important aspect of this business is, I use a term, I've come up with the term, I suppose, if no one else has, AMC, active married couples. And if I pay attention, it's a real interesting thing to observe. How many couples are on the same page when it comes to a vision for their future? And actively working on it together. Now, if we look at ministry, missionaries, things like that, it's very common. In our business, it's also very, it's a game changer. But in regular life, it's not, as a matter of fact, if you're in a regular job working in the same place, you might have to have the spouse. If you get married, I think that's a conflict of interest, you're going to move. So jobs, or the traditional business world, frowns on couples doing things together in a professional situation, whereas ministry in our kind of industry, you are at your best when you're working together as a couple. So I'm paying attention, and that's what I look at. Who are the couples who can be on the same page for their family's future? Okay. Now, if we look at that as, say, step one, step two is, we call it showing up to everything and supporting your own business. It's just a building block. Now, the goofballs on the internet have no idea what I'm even talking about. They never address it in all their poo-pooing of what we do. It's not even talked about. That's why I want to have intelligent conversations with people, not dark lights and ominous music and all this stuff to do whatever they got to do to run interference with people who want to have a better life. Show up to everything, you support your own business. After the couple's already at least on the same page, but they're on the same page that they're in agreement with supporting their own business, showing up to everything, meaning everything that, just like you would show up to practice, show up to class, you show up to go to work, show up. Then that would be step two, I would say, or 1A and 1B. Step three is engaging people in conversation and seeing if you can develop just whatever your skill level is, you're just attempting it. And then 4 would be to have a skill set to where you can be effective in connecting them and getting them educated as to what we do so they can make informed decisions. How many people in our industry have ever even accomplished that? And if you get to that part, you're in a position where you can make money. And of course, you got to put a certain amount of time in. There's got to be a time element. You can't do that. You can't have those things going for you and not be putting in a certain amount of time. How many people can get? I mean, that's not an automatic. It's a challenge for me, I will say, even right now. Mostly the time, but even the skill of having I'm hearing that I'm selling and I'm not identifying people who want to accomplish more with their life, and we're not comparing what the kind of work we do with, say, a traditional way to make money trading time for dollars. It's not one or the other. This is you've got what you got. Do you want more? Are you willing to do something about it? So again, it's nuanced. It's been a long time coming for me. I'm hoping I'm getting closer, but it's a little frustrating, I will admit. But I'm going to get better, just like I've gotten better at other things. Okay. I just wanted to share that. So, music for Back to the Rhyme. So, what we had was Monday, we had 4 people together: Alex, Edwin, myself, and my man T. Still haven't really talked to him about this, so I'm not going to say much more, but we recorded. When able to see Edwin today, I think he was out of town or something, but I'm going to call him at 6:45 in the morning. Thank you very much. It's 12:11 now. I hope to be in bed asleep by 1. So this is not my optimum schedule, but it is what it is. Yeah, just to follow up and see how it's going with how it's going on his end. Because for me, recording's great. Now what? What's the timeline? What are you looking to do? Now I noticed he only recorded with Audacity, which is straight live instrumentation recording, which is fine. That doesn't require him doing anything for instrumentation on his end or electronically. It's all done. I think maybe he wants to adjust some other things. I will find that out. It was found it interesting. I was like, okay, we're going with that cajon sound for the beat. I guess it works. We'll find out, because it's kind of like visually, you're like, really? But it sounds good. It's amazing how if you just move your fingers a certain way, you get it. It's amazing. I'm amazed by that thing. I want to introduce him to my man who I've been working on music with way back in the day. Saw him the day at church. We never came up with his nickname. He never had a nickname, so he was talking about problem and all that, but we're solution now. So, yeah, but they weren't able to talk. But him and T-Man, Big T, whatever, were able to talk, which was cool. So that's a potential rapper vocalist. And he's talking about he wants the problem fellow solution man wants to have it emailed to him. Okay, now Edwin, can we email him the song? It's like, oh God. So it's just like nothing goes fast because of logistics and schedules and stuff. But that was a big thing to get 4 of us in that room and to do that. And we're just going to see how it goes from here. Like I said, I've got other people. I have my other fella, Ryan is his name. There's an interest in the other fella's name. Other fella has a similar name, I will say. But Ryan up there, my coworker, he wasn't available to come on Monday, sadly. Yeah, it's another schedule challenge. But I work with him. So in the gaps to try to talk and strategize, what can we do? Make sure everyone's on the same page. Hey, he can record some, you can record some, what do we want to do? So, and I had a third person I thought was a potential person. I'm finding out he's not a potential person based on what I'm seeing with his communication or lack thereof, even though he lives on my route. And I'm able to see him somewhat often, but it's fine. If it's you got too many things happening up in your life for that's totally fine. You do what you got to do. But I'm thankful because it's been a long time coming to have a couple of people possibly. So I'm really excited. So keep you posted on that, but the project's coming along. Yeah, I think that's about all for that. Merch. I'm a bit saddened because this dude who I was talking to, I thought he could come up with some. He said he got presses for shirts and stuff. Well, shoot, man, he got presses for shirts. I have a need. I don't know what the cost is, but You know, like I say, if you're on my route and I see you, that's a lot easier than even a guy on the app who I could go see, but he's gonna be there, you know. And he's a little limited. He can only do light colored stuff. So the stickers, I want to have another conversation about here, and I could do 10 for $1, maybe selling for $1 plus. That's amazing. But I haven't acted on that because it's just like, what's that going to look like? I'm going to do that in a short amount of time. But it's on my mind. It's the part of the merch I'm most interested in. I'm also interested in a tote bag because my man at church had one. And I'm like, you want another? He said, no, I got a lot. But he uses that. I always find myself going to church with a bunch of junk. You know, if I just have a nice little tote bag, I got my Goodyear Productions tote bag, that'd be pretty nice, I think. Trump's going to thump. He had the inauguration. So things are going on. Things are good. So that's good. And finally, you will be glorified, but also talk about worship music. So everyone says that's his favorite. I think I mentioned it's his favorite kind of music. So I see in the future making these kind of songs with him if he's available. See, the thing is, he's able to do so many things. I have to go at a pace that he doesn't mind, and he likes it. He benefits, etc. You know. I think that's the update. And I'm kind of current events. I'm kind of writing on an ongoing current event with this song. But nothing else I could think of. Nothing major. I could just, let me just say. So apparently, every day I check the weather. In order to check the weather, I have to reset the weather by going to the news. So I checked the top 3 stories. And so we had, is it the first homicide in the year? Or maybe was it the first one? Maybe it was the first one. That would, I suppose, be pretty good relative to, that's in Seattle. Is that right? That would be probably pretty good. You don't want to say that, but I guess there was 58 last year and then 74 the year before. So I went down. I might be off by a couple on each, but can do a lot better, you know. And maybe they compare themselves to other big cities. But Bellevue had 1 last year, so got a ways to go, Seattle, you know. That's what I'll say about that. Got a ways to go to catch up to Bellevue. So I want to get back to the rhyme. And the song is, what type of pimp are you? Are you the vicious pimp? In other words, are you a vicious procurer? Or maybe you're a benevolent pimp, not prone to clocking the dome of the ones who give you a home because they are your slaves. As for the runaway, you are prone to clocking the dome of the one who's seeking the sound of freedom. How comes this all happening? In short, because we're letting it happen. While there's more of us than there are of them, by turning a blind eye, ain't no way to stem the whole flow. So there you go. What type of pimp are you? The things we've seen you do makes us believe if you could achieve 2K a day, that'd be okay to come back the next day and collect that pay. What kind of fool am I to simply sit and sigh? Makes you believe that you could achieve 2K a day. Well, nobody say you should go away like now today. That was a minute. All right. I thought I'd do, that was the hook, that second part. I thought I might do it twice. I'm hesitant to do that. Yeah, I think we'd stick with once, but you'll come back again when we get back to that. All right, so that's that. Okay. All right, so go on to verse 2. We're making our song. We had a little extra, so we figured it out. It was nice to do some recording. I'll say that. It was a comfortable environment for that too. It was good support. I liked it. Okay. Verse 2. So I'm just going to go with what I was thinking about, having conversations about. I suppose it says benevolent. Are you a vicious pimp? In other words, are you a vicious procurer? All right, so let me just say it and then I can write it. Okay, so if you're up there on Aurora and someone mentioned it probably recently or it was on the news or something, where there's lows, there's hoes. We'll just start with that. Now, I hope nobody says, wow, that's a harsh word. And of course it is. But it rhymes. It's real. I'm not trying to put anyone down. And that way, I would also add, so my hotel on my route is the southernmost point of this activity in North Seattle and Aurora. And what I've noticed is I'll see the women walking north of Aurora coming from this motel. So they're up north, they come down in there. Of course, there's signs in there say you're being watched, there's no prostitution, visitors have to check in. What a load of junk. Okay, where there's lows, so I'm just putting it out there. Where there's lows, and it's interesting because, I can see stuff. So, like where I'm parked, I see the guy in the Benz with the lady, maybe driving. Anyway, it's just this is some people's lives. It was interesting to watch that movie Hustle and Flow. It was really eye opening. You know, that just is not a glamorous life. No one seemed to be interested in doing it really, and that's probably nobody. We're living at a low level. A lot of people, and again, what are people want to do about that is kind of the question, including myself. So, where there's lows, I shouldn't say that. Where there's lows, there's hoes. That's a generalization. That's not accurate. There's lows. There's hoes. Right under our nose. Right under our nose is how the story continues to go. I hope people don't hear background conversation. If you do, that's life. That's the life we have. Is how the story goes. Where there's where there's Chick Fil A, Daryl be a Chick A. How you spell that? It's the Canadian, right? A. You know, you're up in Canada, they say that. A. There'll be a Chick A. Um, trying to make his day and make that pay. Okay. Now, is that all Chick-fil-A's? Of course not. I have to talk about the local. There'll be a Chick A trying to make his day and make that pay. Yes, they could get kind of. I don't want to get. I guess if I say Jack in the Box. Oh man. Okay. And if I say what's that donut place? Krispy Kreme. I mean, you just hear those names. It's kind of like you put it with the activity in the area. Should I? I mean, is this a rhyme? I don't know. I'm just pointing it out because it's right there. And it's not just there, but since it's kind of in that area, it's good to kind of zero in. And let's just do it. All right. Where there's Jack in the Box, there's a stack of hawks. Swooping in for another sin. Where there's Krispy Kreme, it always seems Is it a dream? No, not like it seems. That's kind of weak, but I'm going to end on that. Next time, back to the rhymes.